The prior extinction Cretaceous upland ecosystem, an ecosystem with dinosaurs primarily from the Namek Formation and the Cloverleaf Formation, but not limited to, with it also including dinosaurs from the Antlers and Dinosaur Park Formation, as well as its fair share of fictional dinosaurs. Today, we're going to be breaking down every single dinosaur in prior extinction's Cretaceous upland ecosystem and ranking them from absolute top tier to bottom of the barrel. Some of these rankings you might find a little controversial, and that's okay. At the end of the day, this is only my opinion. So with that out of the way, let's get right into this. The criteria for this is quite simple. There will be three categories that I base my rankings on, those being price, how easy or hard it is to unlock, viability, how easy or hard it is to survive in the current ecosystem, and gameplay, how fun it is to play. Now, this one might be a little biased just based on my experiences, but I will try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. So, first up on our tier list is Gallimimus is a fast-moving ornithomimid found in the Namek Formation, and in prior extinction, it is exactly that. Gallimimus is a free dinosaur within prior extinction, so in terms of how hard it is to acquire, well, it's really no effort at all. Now, in terms of stats and viability, it is extremely weak, and the only thing redeeming about it is its speed. Now, this is even emphasized by the game itself, saying that Gallimimus is a coward. It shouldn't be fighting anything, and to be honest, its only real utility is collecting fossils, and even then, it gets outclassed by other dinosaurs on this list. Deinonychus is a small carnivorous dromaeosaurid theropod from the US, one of the first dinosaurs to be added into prior extinction. It specializes in pack hunting and has high bleed damage as well to help it bring down small to mid-sized prey. Now, the price of Deinonychus is free, so again, not much effort to get it there, and the stats are nothing to go home boasting about. It's fairly weak, and the only way you can really actually kill anything is if you are in a pack. Very large pack at that. Now, it used to be stronger than this, but ever since the nerf to pouncing, which went for all of the raptors, it got pretty weak, and even then, it was still pretty difficult to bring something down. It was just slightly better before. Now, in terms of gameplay, you'd have to have an actual pack in order for it to be viable. So, a solo Deinonychus is not really that fun. Deinonysaurus is a mid-sized herbivorous iguanodontian ornithopod from the US. It's a versatile herbivore capable of running at significant speed, and it's a free dinosaur that uses its claws and tails to defend itself from hunters. Deinonysaurus is one of the stronger starter dinosaurs, and is also a good burrower. And at the time of this recording, Rico does not have burrowing, so that's completely out the window. But it is still a decent choice for people who like smaller dinosaurs. Synopterus is one of the newer creatures added to prior extinction's roster. It is a pterosaur, and with that being said, obviously it can fly. Now, it's free, first off, which is pretty cool. I think a free pterosaur is obviously really cool. Secondly, it can escape predators pretty easily, although it should still be wary, as it can pretty much get one-shot by everything on the roster. Its gameplay is pretty one-dimensional, I'd say. You can latch onto dinosaurs, namely Para and Sauropsidon, to eat whatever they have on their skin on them. And then you can also collect fossils. And this is where Gallimimus gets outclassed, because Synopterus is just much faster, and if you know the fossil locations, you'll be set. Now, this is not a bad dinosaur by any means. It's just one that I wouldn't main. and I doubt people would main it unless they really, really like this dinosaur. Concavenator is a small carnivorous affectionist class Carcharodontosaur theropod from Spain. Concavenator habituates throughout mixed woodlands and cornet late, although also thriving in Lake Valor. Concavenator uses its impressive speed and stamina, along with the capability to jump, to specialize in hunting prey smaller than itself. Now, Concavenator is a free dinosaur. Upon joining the game, you will instantly unlock it. And in terms of viability, it's alright. It's not the best, but it's not the greatest. Infection isn't even currently in the game right now, so it can't really do much in terms of that. But it's still a decent dinosaur to play as. It has decent bleed and a good amount of health. And in terms of gameplay, it's fun if you have a pack, and if not, solo is not too bad. Centicephaly is a large fictional pachycephalosaur that is jokingly said to originate from the moon. Centicephaly is but one of many dinosaurs to have the ability to burrow. Centicephaly's broad antlers allow it to deal bleed damage as well as bone break, and its main defense is its ability to burrow, giving it shelter and protection from the elements as well as predators. Now, this is the first Robux dinosaur on our list. It costs 299 Robux, which isn't as much as some of the other dinosaurs on this list, and it's decently powerful for what it is. It has some decent stats, it has nice bleed and bone break. The only thing keeping it down right now is the fact that burrowing's not even a thing. It's literally just a better Tenotosaurus. The only thing is, it can't burrow. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's pretty lonely. No one really plays this dinosaur, and it's probably largely been forgotten about. I haven't seen anything about it in the past couple of months. Literally no one plays it. Mahajungasuchus is a small-sized carnivorous crocodiliomorph from Madagascar. Mahajungasuchus prefers hunting in deep water rather than on land. On land, it's fast for a crocodiliomorph, but it is better built for powerful bursts of speed underwater. It's relatively strong for its size and is very reliable in combat, using its ability to dive to its fullest advantage to retreat or lure predators and prey alike. Mahajungasuchus is definitely a unique entry to the tier list. First off, Maha is a free dinosaur within prior extinction, and it's actually not too bad. Mahajungasuchus, while being very small in comparison to all of its competitors, still packs quite a punch, and it does actually have its moments where it seems kind of busted. So, whether you're solo or in a pack of two, I'm not really sure how big the pack size is, but if you're solo or with a friend, I'd say it's pretty fun to just mess around with. Arbovinator is a medium-sized carnivorous tree-climbing fictional dromaeosaur theropod. Arbovinator was the earliest Game Pass dinosaur ever released. It has a large-sized coat of black and white feathers with toxic attacks. Now, these toxic attacks have not been yet coded in, but that's besides the point right now. Arbovinator can be found on the upland ecosystem. They may prefer the boreal forests such as the Sequoia Plateau and upland forest, which these biomes have large trees for the Arbovinator to climb. This feature has not been coded in yet either, so again, besides the point right now. It is a mid-sized carnivore, typically preferring small prey than itself to overpower and kill alone, although they can hunt in much larger packs and are able to pounce on larger creatures like Parasaurolophus or Acrocanthosaurus, for example. Arbovinator is the cheapest of the Robux dinosaurs, with it only costing 199 Robux, and it's pretty good, I'd say so. Before the Raptor nerf, I would say it would be one of the better creatures to play as, if you had a pack, obviously. If not, then you were pretty cooked. But now it's still good, just not as good, you know? Now, moving on to our B tier. Sauropelta is a mid-sized, armored, and versatile Nodosaur that lived in the Cretaceous upland. Sauropelta is capable of doing blunt-based damage to its predators, such as Acrocanthosaurus, despite lacking its tail club unlike its larger relative. Now, Sauropelta is one of the first dinosaurs on this list that actually requires a substantial amount of amber, that being 100,000. And that's not all too hard to get, especially with, if you know fossil locations, you can get fossils pretty easily to discount this dinosaur fully, and its stats are good. You are heavily armored, you have a very decent amount of health, you can deal bleed and blunt attacks with your spikes, and blunt attacks with your tail. And its gameplay is not all boring as well. Sure, you are really freaking slow, but stuff does attack you from time to time. And when it does, it's actually pretty fun. Acanthocardia is a large fictional titanosaur sauropod said to be from Denmark. It has a very large health pool along with very high damage, bleed, and bone break, making Acanthocardia a nasty opponent to fight against. Acanthocardia is rivaled by Therodontosaurus and Acrocanthosaurus. It also has a large spiked tail, which means that only the boldest of Therodontosaurus and Acrocanthosaurus packs will challenge a fully grown adult. Now, Acanthocardia's price is pretty staggering. It comes in at a whopping 2,000 Robux, which is the most expensive Robux dinosaur in the game, but its price is fairly decent, I guess. It has an immense health pool. Granted, it can only pack up to 1. It really packs a punch. It can do insane bleed where it just depletes your entire health bar. And its raw damage is nothing to scoff at either. Now, its gameplay is something entirely different. Whether you are challenged by your predators is not really your decision, as everything can run away from you, and if you want to pick a fight, well, they can just, again, run away. So most of your time is just spent wandering around, doing who knows what for like an hour or two, and then you finally decide, this isn't really worth it, I'm gonna play something else. Styracosaurus is a mid-sized herbivorous ceratopsin from Canada and the US. This particular animal boasts a large head with a really extravagant yet menacing frill, and it has a giant long horn. Styracosaurus has an impressive horn attack capable of inflicting insane amounts of damage and bleeding in a single attack, but this costs a hefty sum of stamina. Styracosaurus is found in the meadows of the Uplands ecosystem. Now, Styracosaurus is the best free dinosaur, at least in my opinion. It gains 250 amber per minute, and it's very good. It's very versatile. It has a very good amount of health. Again, best for its price, free. Like, what are we gonna, like, what tops that? And its attack is really strong. Its M2 is insanely strong still if you use it defensively. However, if you use it offensively and are just running around, you will most likely die. But if you're conservative with it, you'll do really well. Its gameplay is also pretty fun. Since it's a free dinosaur, you can find packs for it very easily. Therodontosaurus is a medium-sized fictional species of protoceratosaurid that prefers to be in the redwoods as its main place of dwelling. However, it can be found in other biomes that are colder. It prefers to live in large packs, which is also necessary to take down its preferred prey, those being large sauropods. Now, its price is 650 Robux, which isn't too bad, and I think for that price, it's well worth it. Especially because you can find a lot of them in servers most of the time, so it's not too bad. It has a decent set of stats, with it having 4,800 base health and weighing around 3 tons. Its pack limit is 5, which is extremely needed for it to take down its preferred prey, and its attacks are heavily bleed based, which is needed to take down these sauropods. It has what you would call duration bleed. Its raw damage isn't that high, but its bleed lasts for a long time, lasting 32 and 42 seconds depending on what attack you use to hit your prey. Now, its gameplay is actually pretty fun as long as you get a huge pack with you. As long as you have a pack with you, it'll be fun. If you're a solo, I wouldn't expect to take down too much unless you're like a really big monster Thero. Other than that, again, I'd say its gameplay is pretty fun. You go around hunting stuff, even if it's not sauropods, you can still take down a decent amount of stuff with just 2 people. Parasaurolophus is a large herbivorous hadrosaur from the US and Canada. These herbivores are social herding dinosaurs that can be found in groups of up to 4 members. Parasaurolophus is very fast for its size, and not only that, but it also has a large back kick that can do heavy damage to any of your predators. It is a very resilient dinosaur, and is also great at both defending and escaping from predators. Now, Parasaurolophus costs 50,000 amber, which is absurdly cheap in the grand scheme of things, and it makes such a good amount of amber even when you're an adult, and once you get to elder, that just sweetens the deal. And as I said before, Parasaurolophus is very resilient, with it having 11,300 HP and weighing over 11 tons. That is freaking insane, dude. Now, onto its gameplay. It's actually not too bad. Most of the times, since Paras is really cheap, you can find a lot of them on one server. So it's not hard to find a pack and just chat while you grow. It's very relaxing, very chill, and yeah. Next up in A tier is Tarbosaurus. Tarbosaurus is a large tyrannosaur theropod from Mongolia. This is a large apex predator in its ecosystem and is a crusher class dinosaur. It has a devastating bite used to fell its main prey item, Dinocaris and Therizinosaurus, and Tarbosaurus' main rival is Acrocanthosaurus. Tarbosaurus costs 300,000 amber, which is relatively cheap, but on the more expensive side of the dinosaurs we have so far covered. And it has crunch type attacks or bone breaking type attacks, and has an excellent amount of raw damage as needed for something that doesn't bleed very often. It does have very minimal bleed, but it's not enough to turn the tides in any sort of encounter. More like just keeping things on its feet, not resting, I suppose. Now, its gameplay is very exciting. You can pack up to 3 members, and you can take down things from Therizinos, Dinocaris, Parasaurolophus, and even sometimes Mega Packing Sauropsidans, but that's pretty rare. Therizinosaurus is a large clawed herbivorous therizinosaur theropod from Mongolia. Therizinosaurus' main weapons are its sharp claws that function to scare off other predators, and if they dare to attack Therizinosaurus, they will realize that it wasn't the best idea. Therizinosaurus are usually territorial, so always try to avoid coming near them as any other dinosaur. Although this dinosaur is very dangerous due to its high damage and bleed, it's very fragile against crush type attacks. Now, Therizinosaurus is one of the most expensive dinosaurs on this list, with it costing 1 million amber, but it's for good reason. It has a decent amount of health for its size and stature. I mean, it's very fragile against crush type attacks. It's just very fragile in general. But it has 8,300 health at Elder, weighing at 8 tons, and it's relatively slow, but its attack stats are nothing to laugh at. It does 780 raw damage, that's primary, and its secondary does 925, but this is not where it gets carried. It gets carried in its bleed duration and damage, which is absolutely absurd. Definitely the best in this ecosystem by far. Now its gameplay is relatively chill. Most things don't attack you, at least once you're around nearing Elder or at Elder, but when you're an adult, you might get preyed on by 3 Tarbosaurs if you are a solo, but if you're in a duo, you're pretty much... So, that's that. Sauropsidon is a large sauropod originating from the US states of Texas, Wyoming, and Oklahoma. This large sauropod roams the Uplands Cretaceous ecosystem. Sauropsidon's main predator is the Acrocanthosaurus, which it uses its infection to fell dinosaurs as large as Sauropsidon. It can also be hunted by Therodontosaurus, but not as frequently, as the adults and elders are pretty much immune to this. It primarily resides in the forest and volcanic highlands as a youngster, but eventually it goes to Cornet Lake to take advantage of the abundance of food. Sauropsidon is the most expensive dinosaur on this list, costing 2 million amber, and, well, it's for an extremely good reason. It is the most powerful dinosaur on this list. It has a pack size of 1, it is a Bruiser class dinosaur, so it does mostly blood damage. It has a health pool of 46,900 HP at Elder, weighing 50 tons, and it's pretty much immune to everything once it's an Elder. Nothing can really hunt you down, unless you're stupid enough to make a pack, that is. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's pretty boring. Once you're an Elder, nothing really attacks you, but if you're a sub-adult or an adult, you will be hunted. And it's very easy to mega pack as its pack size is only 1, but other than that, it's pretty boring. You just eat, grow, and farm amber. That's really it. Acrocanthosaurus is a large carnivorous carcharodontosaur theropod from the US. It can generally be found where food is most abundant. Its prey items include Sauropelda, Sauropsidon, and occasionally Anthocadia, if need be. Acrocanthosaurus is a large game hunter, and with that, it has infection. Now, infection is not coded into the game yet, so this has no effect as of right now, but it has powerful duration bleed in order to take down large sauropods and heavily armored nodosaurs. Now, Acrocanthosaurus' price is exactly that of Tarbosaurus, 300,000. The only thing is, Acrocanthosaurus has more HP, with it having around 6,000 HP. Its pack limit is +1 of Tarbosaurus, which is 4. It weighs 6 tons, so it's just bulkier, has more bleed. It generally outclasses Tarbosaurus in most ways, and it needs to in order to hunt sauropods, its main prey item. Now, in terms of gameplay, it's very fun. You can easily find a pack of Acrocanthosaurus because there's always some on. The only thing is you might get mixed packed by a bunch of herbivores, and if that happens, well, good luck to you. Suchomimus is a large spinosaurid. Suchomimus can dive for food and doesn't lose stamina while swimming. However, it does when it starts sprinting in the water at a quick pace. Suchomimus deals medium damage and heavy bleed, allowing it to fend off attackers. Suchomimus is one of the 3 apex predators of the upland ecosystem, serving as the terrestrial wetland and semi-aquatic dominant predator of the ecosystem. Like Acrocanthosaurus and Tarbosaurus, Suchomimus costs 300,000 amber to acquire. Now, this is very well justified since this dinosaur is probably one of the most versatile in the entire ecosystem. It has a decent run speed on land, and it has an excellent swim speed that is pretty much one of the only playables in this ecosystem that can swim, besides Mahajangasukas. Now, its pack size is 3, it has around 6000 HP, roughly. It is also a bleeder class playable, and like Spinosaurus, it can deal heavy bleed stacking. Now, the gameplay for this dinosaur is alright. You can chase down a couple of things, and if things fight you, well, most of the time they actually underrate how much damage you can do. Suchomimus, again, as I said before, deals heavy bleed damage, so you can bleed out your opponents very easily. Now, if you ever get in a sticky situation, Suchomimus can also always retreat to the water, and you will almost 100% survive unless you are just being stupid with this dinosaur. Now, onto the final dinosaur of the tier list. Deinocheirus is a large omnivorous ornithomimosaur theropod prior extinction. It is an absolute tank of a dinosaur. Deinocheirus is a formidable and tough opponent even to the strongest of dinosaurs in the game. It is mainly feasted on by Charbosaurus packs. Conversely, Deinocheirus has a unique ability that allows it to deal more damage while in direct contact with water, which is called Wet Wrap. But in contrast, less damage when not in contact with water as well. It also has a wet food ability, but this is not coded into the game, or I don't know if it will be, so that's out of the question right now. Deinocheirus is a dinosaur that costs 1 million amber, and it can pack up to 2, has around 10,000 HP, and let me tell you, this thing is a freaking tank, man. This thing is also decently fast for its size. Like, Elder is 10 tons, and this thing can, like, fucking sprint you down, bro. The gameplay for it is actually pretty exciting. As opposed to there's dinosaurs waiting to be attacked, you can also be the attacker if you so choose to be, since you are fast enough to run some things down. And you deal a massive, well, okay, let me rephrase that. Not a massive amount of bleed, but enough bleed to where you're an actual threat. Plus, since you're freaking huge, some things you can also trample. Now, Deinocheirus, if it gets in a pickle, it has a last resort of swimming, and it uses up stamina, unlike Suko where it doesn't, but its swim speed is way better than some other dinosaurs. Not up to par with the semi-aquatics, but you get the idea. Overall, Deinocheirus is extremely versatile, extremely powerful, very good for its price, and makes a decent amount of amber as well. I think by far this is the best dinosaur in this ecosystem, and it is extremely well rounded on all of its fronts. With that being said, this concludes the end of our tier list. From Gallimimus all the way to Deinocheirus, we've covered every single playable in the Cretaceous Uplands ecosystem. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope you all made it this far. These videos always take a little while to make, so please consider subscribing down below. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.